cultural icon is a person that is identified by members of a culture as representative of that culture. The process of identification is, of course, subjective, and icons are judged by the extent to which they can be seen as an authentic symbol of the culture. In popular culture, the term iconic is used to describe a wide range of people, places, and things. And some believe that this word is overused. And it may be, but in certain cases it truly is the only way to describe someone. So is the case of Betty White. She is one of the most significant cultural icons of the last several decades. Her work in the entertainment industry surpasses many, but that is not the only thing that makes White an icon. For years, she supported multiple animal and wildlife charities worldwide, and even after her death the donations continue to roll in on her behalf. The impact of this one woman has changed the life of thousands of animals and animal lovers worldwide. A brief history of Betty White's early years, career, and awards shows how she was able to be as generous as she was to the causes and charities she believed in most. That story began almost 100 years ago. White was born in Oak Park, Illinois on January 17, 1922, but soon after her arrival her parents moved to California. During her childhood they would take her backpacking in the Sierra Nevadas, which allowed her to grow up being one with nature. White was an amazing comedian and actress, but her passion for animal rights predated even that, and it is because of these early years with her parents. She was an only child, but she was never lonely as she had lots of four-footed siblings to spend her time with. The family stayed in California, and White attended Beverly Hills High School, where she performed in many school productions and graduated in 1939. White served in the U.S. Army as a member of the American Women's Voluntary Services during World War II. Growing up in California gave White the opportunity to work in the entertainment industry early on. And she started on radio shows in the 1940s, and in 1949 made her debut on TV as Girl Friday on Hollywood on Television, a talk show that she later became the host of and gained the title of the first female talk show host. In 1952 White played the lead in a sitcom called Life with Elizabeth. This show ran for 2 years, and not only did White star in it, but she also co-created and produced it, and earned her first Emmy for her work. There's a reason we call her the First Lady of Television. Because in 1954, she became the host of her own daily variety show, The Betty White Show. She continued to serve as producer on the show, pushing boundaries by hiring a female director and showcasing Arthur Duncan, a black performer, at the height of the civil rights movement. White followed up her variety show with parts on The Millionaire, 1956, and Date with the Angels, 1957 to 1958. Her career continued to move forward with appearances on game shows and sitcoms. And in 1961, White met Alan Ludden while appearing on Password, the game show he hosted, as a celebrity guest. 2 years later, the couple married. They were together until his death in 1981. In 1973 White came into one of her most famous roles as Sue-Ann in The Mary Tyler Moore Show. At first, she was meant to only appear in one episode, since White was already good friends with Mary Tyler Moore. However, producers loved her as Sue-Ann, seemingly sweet but actually very competitive and snarky, and told her to expect to be called back. White went on to appear in 45 episodes of the beloved sitcom. This role had White win her 2 Emmy Awards. However, White was just getting started. In 1983, White got her own game show, Just Men, and became the first woman to win a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Game Show Host. And in 1985 she entered into her iconic role as Rose Nyland in The Golden Girls, which earned her 7 Emmy nominations.
They had B. Arthur as Dorothy, which was great, and they had kind of had me in mind for Blanche, and then they had found this dynamite little lady in New York, Estelle Getty, for the mother, who was not that important to the original script. She was just a peripheral character. And they thought Rue McClanahan would be good as, in the mix. to direct the show, they got Jay Sandrich. Well, Jay, in his wisdom, bless his dear heart, said, look, if Betty plays another man-hungry neighborhood nymphomaniac, no matter how differently she tries to play it, they're going to equate it with Sue Ann and think she's just doing the same thing. Let's switch them. Let's make Rue Blanche and Rose is Sue Ann, is Betty. Well, I knew who Blanche was, and I knew who Dorothy was, and I knew who Estelle was, but I didn't have a clue as to Rose. She was one of those amorphous characters. And again, Jay, he just gave me the character in 2 lines. He said he said totally naive. She turned out to be terminally naive. She took every word as the surface meaning. So if you said you could eat a horse, she'd call the SPCA, you know. So the girls could say terrible things to her, but the words all sounded fine, so she got along great.
In 1986, White a win for the Emmy for Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series for her role. White continued to act, produce, and do voice-over work through the years, taking roles in sitcoms including Maybe This Time, That 70s Show, Suddenly Susan and The Practice. And from 2005 to 2008, she had a recurring role on Boston Legal, and in 2006, she joined the cast of the soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful and appeared for 22 episodes. She also made a return to game shows in 2008 with $1 Million Password, and starred in The Proposal alongside Sandra Bullock in 2009. In 2010, at age 88, she had a new growth in popularity with her famous Super Bowl commercial for Snickers.
Mike, what is your deal, man?
Oh, come on, man. You've been riding me all day.
Mike, you're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
Baby. Eat a Snickers. Better?
Better. Hey! I'm all back! That hurt. You're not you when you're hungry.
Soon after, there was an online campaign for the actress to host Saturday Night Live. The show delivered. At 88, White became the oldest person to host. The appearance earned her an Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Comedy Series. White wasn't done yet. From 2010 to 2014, White kept busy playing Elka Ostrovsky on the TV land series Hot in Cleveland. And she was nominated for another Emmy for the role in 2011. Betty White had quite a career and has the awards to prove it. She was in the entertainment industry for over 70 years and led the way for women who wanted to be comedians, actors, and producers. During the entire time the White was working and entertaining us, she supported numerous charitable causes. She is most known for her support of animal welfare organizations, but she was also an advocate for diversity and inclusion. She was so popular that even her birthday became a national event. In January 2012, NBC aired Betty White's 90th birthday party as a star-studded primetime special. Unfortunately, White passed at 99 years old in December of 2021, just weeks before her 100th birthday. And yet even death could not stop her. Social media outlets joined forces to host a virtual fundraiser. The challenge asked users to donate to the animal charity of their choice and use the hashtag #BettyWhiteChallenge to honor White. This quickly went viral. On what would have been White's 100th birthday, Monday, January 17, 2021, Meta shared that almost $900,000 had been donated. By Friday of the same week, the total was over $12 million donated by over 390,000 individuals. A legend in life and death, she made this world a better place, leaving a legacy of fans supporting the causes she believed in. Regardless if you fell in love with White in the early days on Mary Tyler Moore, binge watching The Golden Girls on Netflix, or after seeing her Super Bowl ad, you cannot deny the impact this one woman has had on our culture. Betty White forged a path for women in the entertainment world, won awards in almost everything she did, stood up for rights of those who had none, and had a major impact on making better lives for abused and forgotten animals. If you are interested in carrying on the Betty White legacy, donate to any of her many charities. Greater Los Angeles Sioux Association, American Humane Guide Dogs for the Blind, Endangered Wolf Center, Bravehearts Therapeutic Riding and Educational Center, or your local humane society.